Hello, good morning students. Today Purnima is going to teach you the poem The Tale of Custard the Dragon. Dragon is a very common word if you will go to China. Okay, children, the name of the poet is also very strange. It is Ogden Nash. Ogden. Let me tell you something about the poet first, and then we will read that what is there in this poem. So the Tale of Custard the Dragon is written by Ogden Nash. I have written this on the board. And now let me tell you something about the poet. Ogden Nash was born on 19 August 1902 in New York. So he was born in 19 August 1992 in New York. Okay, in New York. He worked as a school teacher before becoming a copywriter. So earlier he was teaching in a school only. He was a school teacher, and finally afterward he became a copywriter. Nash's first poem were published in New York in 1930. So for the first time his poem was published in New York, okay, in the year 1930. His first collection of poems entitled Hardline was published in 1931. So his first collection poem was published in 1931. And children, the poem were entitled Hardlines. The boy, so some of his famous poems were Hard Lines, and then which was published in 1931. Then The Boy Who Laughed at Santa Claus in 1957. So these were all his very famous work. The Boy Who Laughed at Santa Claus in 1957 and Girls Are Silly in 1962 are among his famous books. Nash is perhaps best remembered for his nonsense poetry. Now children, if you will read this poem, you will feel this poem, though it's a funny poem, lot of things interest her, but then it doesn't have any sense, any proper message in this poem. Okay, then his first collection of poems entitled Hardline was published in 1931. The Boy Who Laughed at Santa Claus in 1957 and Girls Are Silly in 1962 are among his famous books. Nash is perhaps best remembered for his nonsense poetry. Nash died on 19 May 1971. So children, Nash was always remembered for his nonsense poetry. This poem is also known as nonsense poetry because it doesn't have any proper message, any proper idea, okay, any central idea hidden here, nothing like that. Okay, so and finally the poet died on 19 May 1971. Now basically children, this poem is a whimsical fantasy. Okay, it tells about a girl, Belinda, who lives alone in her house with 4 pets, a dog, a cat, a mouse. You will be surprised, a dragon was also there. A very nice name of dragon was there, and the dragon was known by the name of Custard. All other dwellers of the house except Custard pride themselves on their fearlessness. They mock poor Custard for his timidity. However, when the real danger comes, all others run away in panic except Custard. Only Custard fight furiously and swallow the pirates. So children, the dragon, he was known for his timidness, okay, but actually he was one of the bravest pet of Belinda. The poem ends ironically. After the danger is past, everyone began to boast again about their courage, and the animal which really fought like a hero against a pirate agrees that everyone else is braver than he is. So appearances may be deceptive. Now one message of this chapter could be appearances may be deceptive. Okay, and even your merit and real value may not be recognized by your unwilling rivals. Okay, well, Ogden Nash is remembered for his nonsense poetry, as I told you now. The story is an unusual one. It is full of rhyming words like relio, trilio, ink and blink. Okay, so a lot of rhyming words where you will find in this poem. The poem, when you will read the poem, you will realize that this poem is actually written for the children. It looks like a fairy tale. In the poem, we find a fantastic creature like Custard the dragon. Okay, then all this, as well as as everyday creatures like the cat, the dog, and the mouse. All these characters are personified. The poet uses the poetic devices of Oxymoron when he writes the phrase pet dragon, dragon can't be kept as pet. The poet used similes as poetic devices when he compares a dragon mouth with a fireplace or compares Belinda with a barrel of beer. So generally the poetic devices used here is a simile. Okay. Now I would like to discuss the children, the background of the poem now. So my first point is Belinda and her pet. Belinda and her pets, because she was not having one but she was having many pets. So here I should tell you, Belinda lived in a little white house and she lived there with her pets. They were a black kitten, a grey mouse, a little yellow dog, and a dragon named Custard. So she was living with this fourth thing, a black kitten, a grey mouse, a little yellow dog, and a dragon named so this is the name of children. These are the okay, four pets which Belinda was having. What were they? A black kitten, a grey mouse, a little yellow dog, and a dragon named Custard. The black kitten was named Ink. Okay, so her black kitten was named Ink. The grey mouse was called Blink. Okay. The dog was called Mustard. The dog was called Mustard. All right. And the last one is the Custard. And Custard was really courageous, but people used to think that he is very coward. And Custard were thought to be very courageous. All other pets except Custard were thought to be very courageous and very brave. Custard was meek and coward and always longed for a safe cage. Belinda and her pets mocked at him. Outwardly, the dragon had big sharp teeth. His mouth looked like a fireplace and there were daggers on his toes. But all other pets and Belinda only mocked at him for his timidity and lack of courage. Belinda was as brave as barrel of bears. Ink and Blink could chase lions down the stair. Mustard, the yellow dog, was as brave as Tiger. Now, my second point is Custard was mocked. Belinda tickled Custard unmercifully. Blink and Mustard rudely called him Percival, a great warrior. They asked his age. Poor Custard cried timidly for a nice safe case because everybody used to make fun of him, everybody used to laugh at him. Now my third point is pirate attacked. Second was Custard was mocked. Third is pirate attacked. Okay. So suddenly a nasty sound was heard. The dog growled and all others looked around. They saw a pirate climbing in through the window. He held a pistol in each of his hand. He held a dagger in his mouth. His beard was black. One of the legs was of wood. He looked terrible and his intention too seemed terrible. Now the fourth point is Belinda cried for help and pets ran away in fear. Okay, so Belinda cried for help and all the pets ran away with fear. They were so scared that instead of coming and helping to Belinda, they all ran away. When Belinda saw the pirate, her face became pale, yellowish due to fear. She cried for help. The dog Mustard fled away. So what happened? The dog Mustard, he ran away and Ink hid himself in fear. The little mouse Blink entered his hole. And finally, children, what happened? The little mouse entered his hole. Custard fought bravely and swallowed the pirate. What did Custard did? He fought bravely and swallowed the pirate. The dragon Custard attacked the pirate with his powerful tail. He pounced upon the pirate as a robin pounces at worm. So children, what really who had come to help Belinda? It was the Custard, the dragon, to whom everybody used to make fun, and even Belinda used to tickle him unmercifully. Okay, even she did not totally. She was accompanying those pets who were making fun of her. So the dragon Custard attacked the pirate when he entered. and with his powerful tail. We all know that a dragon has a very powerful tail, and he pounced upon the pirate as a robin pounced at a worm. The pirate fired 2 bullets at Custard, but they missed the aim. Custard swallowed him at once. Belinda embraced Mustard, licked him. Ink and Blink danced joyfully around him. Now children, the pirate, he fired 2 bullets at Custard, but it was his bad luck that he had missed his aim. Custard swallowed him at once, and suddenly the best thing Custard did, he had swallowed him at once. Mustard fled away, and then children, Belinda embarrassed, she hugged Custard. Mustard licked him. Ink and Blink danced joyfully around him. Poor Custard not given his due. The dragon Custard killed and swallowed. Okay, the pirate, the dragon Custard, what did he do? He not only he killed, but he swallowed that pirate. However, he was not given his due. Belinda and her pets started patting themselves for their courage and bravery. The poor Custard was again mocked at for his meekness and timidity. Okay. Now, here the main points of the poem are: Belinda lived in a little white house. She lived there with her pets. Her pets contained a black kitten, Ink, a grey mouse, Blink, a yellow dog, Mustard, and a dragon named Custard. All other pets were considered sharp and brave. Only Custard was considered as a coward who always cried for a nice, safe cage. The dragon had sharp teeth. There were spikes on top and a scale beneath him. He spat fire and had dagger on his toes. Belinda and her pets mocked Custard for his timidity. Then suddenly they saw a pirate climbing up through the window. The pirate had a pistol in each hand and a dagger in his mouth. His beard was black and one of leg was of wood. Belinda turned pale on seeing the pirate and cried for help. Now, the dog must have fled crying. Ink hid himself and the little mouse Blink disappeared for the mouse hole. But Custard jumped up at the pirate, attacking him with his iron tail. He pounced upon the pirate, killed and swallowed him within no time. Belinda embarrassed Custard. Mustard licked him. Ink and Blink danced around him. Then everyone started bragging again of his bravery, forgetting the bravery shown by Custard. Custard agreed that everybody was braver than him. Belinda is still considered as brave as a barrel full of beer. All her pets except Custard are considered sharp and brave. Only Custard is mocked at for his timidity and lack of courage. So this is the biggest example of irony, children. Okay, so this is the end of the background of the poem. Now I will be reading a stanza first for you. Belinda lived in a little white house with a little black kitten and a little grey mouse and a little yellow dog and a little red wagon and a really truly little pet dragon. Okay, so the meaning of kitten is the young one of a cat. Okay, grey is a grey color. Mouse we all know it's a rat. Wagon here means cart. And really, trulio is truly. This two spelling you have to note it down, it's a bit strange. Okay, what is the spelling? Realio, R-E-A-L-I-O. It means really, and trulio is true. So let me do the explanation of the passage. Belinda lived in a little white house. She lived there with her pet. Her pet included a little black kitten. There was little grey mouse. She had a little yellow dog and a little red wagon too. And to speak the truth, she had a little pet dragon. So, where did Belinda live? We can say she lived in a small white house. And how many total number of pets she had? She had 4 total number of pet. What kind of wagon she had? A little red wagon. It is true that Belinda had also a little pet dragon. Okay. Now the name of the little black kitten was Ink. I am reading Stranger 2 and I will be writing some of the meaning on the board also. Now Stranger 2. Belinda lived in a little, Now the name of a little black kitten was Ink. And the little grey mouse, she called him Blink. And the little yellow dog was sharp as mustard, but the dragon was a coward and she called him Custard. Sharp is very active. Dragon, children, we all know it's a large animal with a wing and a long tail, and it's a Chinese, in China this animal is very common, and when it breathes out fire. Okay. And coward, a person who lacks courage. Okay. Then, children, I am writing the meaning of really also. Really and truly. Okay. So now the name of the little black kitten was Ink, and the little grey mouse was called Blink, and the little yellow dog was sharp as mustard, but the dragon was a coward and she called him Custard. So in this stanza, the name of each and every children animal has been given. Little black kitten was Ink, little grey mouse was called Blink, little yellow dog was a sharp, but the dragon was a coward and she called him Custard. So let me do the explanation. The name of the little black kitten was Ink, the little grey mouse was called by the name Blink, and the little sharp dog was known as Mustard, but the dragon was coward, she called the dragon Custard. Okay, so what was the name of the little black kitten? The name of the little black kitten is Ink. What was the little grey mouse called? The little grey mouse was called Blink. The little yellow dog was, what kind of dog Mustard was? The little yellow dog Mustard was quite sharp and active. And what did the other animals generally think about Custard the dragon? The little pet dragon Custard was thought to be coward and lacked courage. Now children, when till now I have told you the background of the poem, I have told you about the story, that what this poem is about. Don't you feel that this poem, it is not having any sense? It looks as if it is a fairy tale taken from someone. So children, Ogden Nash, the writer, he is known as no doubt he is a poet, but he writes the story, the poem, which is not having any sense. Okay, so till now because of lack of time, tomorrow I will be explaining the other paragraph. Then we will see the rhyming scheme of the poem, and of course poetic devices we cannot forget. So I think once again you have to read the poem. Okay, and term 2 is there. long question can come, central idea can come, summary can come. So until and unless you will know the poem thoroughly, you will not be able to write it. With this, I end my video here. Thank you and have a nice day ahead. Bye bye.